Welcome to Q-ZAR.
Okay, so now what we're going to go over is the different types of combat. Alright, we're going to be going over, first off, what's called close combat, which is when we are both in our covers, alright, and we are playing within an arm's length of each other. Okay? By the way, for all you out there, your pack cannot enter into my personal zone, which is this right here. Okay? Your phaser can, but your pack is not supposed to come in within this. We are firing lasers, ladies and gentlemen, not bayonets. Okay? These are more powerful fired from here than fired from here. Okay? They allow them to spread. Alright? So you do not need to get within this length to tag somebody. But of course, not everybody follows the rules. So we have to teach you what is called close combat, which is anywhere between this and playing like this. Okay? Now, America, we shouldn't be playing like this. We should be playing like this. Okay? That would be considered close combat. What we call regular combat is something more like this, between 3 and 5 feet away from your opponent. This is the optimum place for your covers, which is right here. It's easier to block somebody from this far away than it is to block somebody from this far away. Okay, so when you want to play combat, this is the kind of combat you want to play when you're playing with a cover, right? Anything past this is called what I call long distance combat. All right, so those are the combats: close, regular, long distance. All right. All right. Sorry, you got a little antsy. What are you gonna do? All right, go sit down. Okay. So the first thing we're going to go over is covers. All right. Obviously, you have a standard rifle cover, which is what he just did, as you saw. It is when you hold the bottom of the phaser, and you can do a lot of different types. There's holding it underneath the barrel, which is like what I like to do, using your neck to block your barrel. You've had people, I've actually seen that actually cover the end of the barrel and shoot and lift up their hand to shoot. I've seen that. Now this is all for wall play. Okay, you're gonna be behind a wall, you're putting your back onto a wall and firing like this. Alright? That's how you use a rifle. Not really recommended for anybody who wants to be an advanced player, but it's nice to have, especially if you're bombing your teammate from very far away, or if you're in long distance combat. But that's all it's really for, is long distance combat. Once you get into close and regular, leave the rifle back at home, okay? Now, next thing we're going to be going over is the Atlanta cover. The reason why we call it the Atlanta, well, it's not called the Atlanta cover, but I call it that because it's the first person I ever saw use it. All right. In any cover that I'm going to teach you, all right, there's going to be a way I'm going to show you to hold your phaser. If you turn your gun sideways, all right, with the left side of the sensors pointing up, all right, what I want you to do is I want you to get your 3 fingers, all right, these 3 fingers, not your pointed finger. Your 3 fingers go underneath the barrel, all right. Your pointer finger goes straight out, pointing to your target. All right. There's a little divot here in between in your phaser. That's where that finger needs to be. And basically, what you want to be doing is you want to be pointing towards your opponent. All right. Your thumb goes on top of the phaser, behind this little bump that holds your strap. All right. But underneath the strap, and it pushes. If you go forward on the phaser, it goes towards that and pushes up against that. So you're going to grip here with your 3 fingers on the bottom of the phaser. Your thumb pushes against the top of that bump in the phaser, and your pointer finger goes pointing towards whatever your opponent is. Now later on, I'm going to show you why we do that pointing with the pointing. But now, on your hand right here, all right, there's a place right here. There's a little bump on your wrist right here. Feel that? There should be like a bone right there. That bone goes on this part right here, which is the little part that sticks up for your sensors. It pushes up against this little bump right here. All right. What you do is you stick that little bone on that little bump. Then you grab the phaser like that. You want to make sure that groove, the natural groove of your wrist right here, goes along with that natural groove of this phaser right here. All right. And what you're doing is you're squishing, pushing up against with your forearm as hard as you can against this bump that the sensors are actually on, as hard as you can. Now, In any cover that I'm going to show you, all three, the Atlanta cover, the G cover, and the Cali cover, this front top part is exactly the same. Never changes. Alright? It's easier that way. But make sure when you're first starting out that that groove of your wrist is going in there. Most important thing about not getting shot through your cover is that right there. Make sure that groove lines up with that bottom part of your wrist. Now, the Atlanta cover is held standard. Hold the handle is just like any other any regular Q-ZAR player. All right. Now you want to make sure you use this part of your hand to push up. All right. What this does is this gets a motion where you're kind of squishing the gun into your arm, all in one motion. All right. So you're using your bicep to squish the gun into your arm, and with your right forearm, you're actually using that to pick the pack up. All right. So you're blocking underneath, and you're going like this. Now, the one bad part about this cover is it's underneath. It's really easy to get tagged right underneath because there's nothing covering right here. Alright, so you want to make sure that when you're using this cover, you're either on a wall, using it defensively, or if you know somebody's going to be coming underneath, you want to make sure you lower your cover down. Now, the one good thing about this cover is the hole in it is underneath. You don't get shot through your cover as much because of the way you hold the phaser. It's a lot harder to pierce this cover because right in here is harder to shoot through. So you're going to be using this this is great for wall-to-wall play. Because your shot coming out of it is very, very fast. And when you do shoot out of this, you do not shoot at it, you do not try to come out as much because you have a quicker shot coming like this. A lot more efficient when you're on a wall because you're blocking the entire time until the very, very end of it. Alright? That is what's called the Atlanta cover. Now, the stance of this ranges. A lot of people like to stand up more straight with this, keeping both feet pointed in the same direction. When you're on a wall, I tend to spread my feet out a little bit more and give me a little more spread to shoot. The more open your stance is, the further you can reach with your reflex or with the shot. The closer your feet are, the lower you have to go to take a longer shot. All right, so you want to make sure your stance is kind of low. Legs are kind of spread out. Always on your tippy toes with your back foot. No matter what cover you ever use, you always want to be on your tippy toe on your back foot. May not always want to be on your tippy toe on your front, but always on your tippy toe on your right. That way you have that spring after somebody shoots at you. Now, the way to fix things on this, you want to make sure that you're really squeezing with this left arm hard, very, very hard into here. You want to make sure that you're pushing forward with your bicep, pushing this against your arm. The tighter that is, the harder you're squeezing, the better. Not only are you squeezing it toward your arm, you're also pushing the phaser into your pack, making it a lot harder to shoot through it. Okay? So you shoot, you come back in, and you push hard back into it. Alright? Now, the next cover I'm going to be showing you is what I call the G cover or a regular Manassas cover.